I'm Valerie,
and you're listening to the Hey Love podcast.
We know just what it's like to have a queer and woman-owned small business team. After all, we're Hey Love Studio.
Here, we'll be sharing our tips and tricks of what we have learned over a few years running a small business.
Whether it's a marketing strategy or how to get new clients or how to even just treat the clients you already have better, we're going to let you in on all the little secrets that make our team successful.
So join us along while we untap topics to make sure you shine and hype your clients up and pay those bills.
So today we're going to be talking about vendors specifically and how you can make your website more inclusive for queer couples.
Or just be more inclusive, honestly, because that's the issue right here.
Yeah, so I kid you not, I'm on this LGBTQ wedding vendors Facebook group. And I love this group because we get to see queer love every day. But we also get to see straight vendors get on there and be like,
Can I tell you?
Ally.
Can I tell you why this is happening?
Why?
Because straight people, vendors, are thinking, yeah, I can tap into this market and make money. Yeah. And I hate this. I hate this.
Straight vendors who come into the space solely to make money, you can just, there's the door.
I'm not saying if you're an ally, and you just got a little bit of like warmness and angry and stuff, then you should check yourself, because then maybe you're
not an ally.
But if you didn't have a reaction right now, you're good. So allies, if you didn't have a reaction while us saying that, you're good. I'm talking about my first mentor.
Yeah, he was really fun because he loved to just start shit with you and be like, hey, I'm a straight man. Can I go into the lesbian bar in town, Sue Ellen's in Dallas? Can I go into Sue Ellen's? And you were like, but why? And he was like, well, because why not? And we're like, yes, but why would you go into that space? It's not for you. And what benefit are you bringing into that space? And he's like, but if I can't go in, isn't that like discrimination? And we're like, yeah, sure, maybe. But any case,
we're here to talk how to make you an actual affirming photographer and making sure that you create spaces where that feels good to the queer community.
Yes. So on this Facebook group, people will post and they'll be like, hi, OMG, I'm an ally and I'm in Philadelphia. I can't wait to take more gay couples photos. I photographed so many gay photos of gay people. Please look at my work and book me. And then every photo they post is a straight couple. Or this is another great one. And this one's from the community. Hey y'all, I am in the LGBTQ and I run a bridal makeup company. I can't wait to make all my brides look and feel amazing.
Bitch.
Book with me. What's the red flag there?
Who said I'm a bride?
Exactly. So we're going to start right there. If you're wanting to be an inclusive vendor and you're not here for the money, so you're already like, if you're just here for the money, get out. But if you're not here for the money, the very, very basic first thing you need to do is make your language better.
Learn the language. It's very simple. It's very easy. You can make mistakes. Apologize when you make mistakes.
Couples, newlyweds, partners,
soon to be wed.
Assuming everybody is going to fit into the bride-groom category is not the way to go.
And I would say if you get an individual couple who presents that way, you can ask them, is it okay if I call you brides? And majority of the time they might say yes.
Yeah, it's all about sharing your pronouns and asking theirs, right? And that's another thing we actually do in our intake form. We ask for people's pronouns. And frankly, part of that is because you also don't want to assume somebody's pronouns just from their names. Names are sometimes gendered and sometimes genderless. We work with a lot of international people or names that might come from different cultures where we may not even know the gender that's associated with them. I would much rather know your pronouns. I know. It's a social construct another day. But in any case, first things first. If you're an affirmative vendor, use better language.
And make sure your language also supports the photos you put out there. So, for instance, the person who's like, I can't. The fact that they said they've captured so many gay people
and then didn't show a photo,
straight couples. Okay, now I'm really on my rampant though.
Look, and we will be honest, they could have just been a straight presenting couple, right? Some couples may have queerness within them that is not obvious, right? I'm talking about my bi babes. I'm a bi babe. You may not always know that by looking at me. And we photographed. It's so funny because yes, we tend to photograph mostly gay couples, but we also photograph a lot of straight couples who have queer family members. So we've been hired by straight couples specifically because they're like, oh, my brother is gay and I didn't want the photographer to make them feel weird, right? Yeah. Or we've been hired because, hey, my kid is trans and like, frankly, in this day and age, I don't know who's a safe space. but I know you're a safe space because you're telling me you're a safe space and you're living that experience,
Yeah.
right? So that's why we got hired to shoot their wedding, or their family photos. So super important to get the language right. And then I think kind of next to that, once you get the language right, some of those clients should come in. But what if they don't? Adeline, what do I do? I want to shoot gay couples, but I can't find them. Where are they?
So shameless plug, go listen to our How We Found Hey Love. I mentioned this a little bit in there, but you need to go into the spaces where queer people are and make true friendships and connections, and then ask for model calls. We really give our clients who comes to us for model call. We've done it once maybe now.
Yeah.
Well, twice because with my film camera, but we give them free photos and it's usually a limited amount. So yes, if you're a photographer and you're like, oh my gosh, you did it for free. We do it for free because we want to give back, because they are also providing us to step into a new space. But strategic move, you can always limit those photos that you give them.
Adeline, do you remember the first gay couple we ever photographed? I kid you not. It was my mom's best friend's daughter. So we moved to town and my mom was like, oh my God, I know gay people and they're your age. And sure enough, that was the first queer couple that we ever photographed. And so that's the thing, right? If you're just coming into this space and you're like, I want to photograph the gays, but you literally don't even know one single gay. Okay, like maybe ask your friends and family members, do they know any gays? And if literally you nor your friends and family know any gays, likely because people don't feel safe telling you you're gay. At the end of the day, in this day and age, the number of Americans who are identifying as queer means that you 100% know somebody. So if you think that you don't know a gay person, it's because you haven't shown that you're a safe space yet. So doing model calls can be a great thing. Looking if there's any social queer organizations in your area, right? Maybe you could offer headshots. We got to partner.
Yeah, that's a great way.
We got to partner with an incredible queer nonprofit here in Dallas, and we got to do headshots for like 30 people.
Can you pronounce it?
NCAPIA. It took me a lot of time to learn. The National Queer Asian American and Pacific Islander Association, I believe. I'll double check it. NCAPIA. They're fantastic. And we got to photograph all their headshots, right? And then a couple of them were couples, so we got to take like a little family photo of the two of them, and that's the thing is like when you give back to those spaces, then you're also going to get that kind of in return. We volunteered with Equality Texas. We volunteered with Black Tie Dinner. We're volunteering with these big LGBTQ organizations, which then gets gay people in front of our lens, right? They see us, they know us, they know we're safe people.
So now you have the photos.
Okay.
I want you to put it everywhere.
Yeah, if you've got the photos and you've got the language, share it.
If you want to shoot queer weddings, you've got the language, you got the photos, please be proud of them. Put them on your website. Showcase them on the Instagram. I promise you there are couples who will not hire you because you're not showcasing people like them.
Yes.
Diversity is a big issue and we need to make sure that we bridge the gap. Even it doesn't have to be the best photos. There has to be representation. And I think that's your third homework topic, is ensuring that, I want to say, if you really want, hear me out.
I've got more homework.
I know.
If this is your homework, fine, go for it. I've got more
50%.
Yeah.
If you want to do weddings in general.
Yeah.
50% of your content should be straight presenting people. 50% should be
Love
queer.
that.
I think it should,
especially if you're trying to shoot in the queer space, you need to be at minimum 50%.
I don't need to look at wedding photographers anymore because we got married already. But I still do look through wedding photographers' websites and stuff.
For inspo
stuff. Yeah. And I promise you, every time it's a queer photographer and your photos are not queer. Oh, sorry. I just slapped Valerie in the face. That's how I feel about it. Slap, slap, slap. If you don't showcase where queer couples on your homepage, I mean the first page, I don't want to look at your work anymore. You're not a queer photographer.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be something that people search for, right? So not only with the representation, but also, I mean, you can get banners at the bottom of your page, right? I've seen photographers who have like Black Lives Matter down at the bottom of their page, who have all love is love at the bottom of their page.
Yeah.
That is a huge way for somebody to immediately identify that you are a safe space and that you're somebody who's not only willing, but happy to capture them. And I think that's another piece of homework I want to give, is similar to doing it for the money. If you're just doing this because like, yeah, why wouldn't I? Ooh, red flag, girl, you're not ready. You need to be doing this because, again, it's an honor. I would love to be considered. At this point, there are queer photographers, I would hope, in every major US city at every single price point.
Yeah.
So if you are not a queer photographer and you're trying to attract queer clients, you need to recognize what an honor it is if and when you get chosen. You are being especially chosen for this, and you need to recognize that privilege. The other piece of homework I want to give you is actually utilizing queer photography dedicated training programs. Equally Wed has an incredible certification you can do, so that way you can actually learn skills for working with gay couples. Oh my gosh, dancing with her, dancing with them. You need to be working with these wedding websites and these certifications to show that you know what you're doing. So again, our first couple that we photographed, first queer couple that we ever got to photograph. So
our best friends.
Our best friends at this point.
Yeah.
They got married a few months later. And because we're good friends, we were invited to be the guests at the wedding and not the wedding photographers and videographers. And then unfortunately, when they got their wedding photos back, they were very dissatisfied, to put it nicely.
Just sad.
They realized that even though they hired people whose work looked good, that these people didn't have familiarity posing a gay couple. And then bonus, a couple that was definitely not heteronormative, like we have people
Chrissy's like me, where I'm
a little bit more androgynous, a little bit more non-binary,
Yeah.
Just cool, right? But then, unfortunately, our friends felt like they were posed more like siblings, or that the photographer just didn't know how to put them next to each other. Because here's another hot take. When you have couples of different sexes, you're typically going to have a height difference. Not always, but a lot of times. And then you get a couple where they're the same sex and maybe now their heights are very similar. It can make the photographer feel very uncomfortable. How do I capture this same pose that I'm so used to? Who stands behind the other? All this kind of heteronormative BS. If you take these certifications, you're going to get to practice the language of how to work with couples who are same sex or have other kind of gender expansiveness in their systems. You need to learn how to talk to your trans couples. You need to learn how to talk to your non-binary couples and how to pose them. And that's a whole other thing. But I mean, again, if you've got the language and theoretically you're working with the couples, you should be learning the poses. You should be seeing what works. Here's a hot tip for us. We love showing off our brides, especially when you have two femmes, their rings. And a lot of times, a lot of times when you get a femme couple, you're going to have rings that are both unique and need to be shown off. So sometimes the traditional way of taking a photo of rings isn't going to show, but we love this pose, right? Now I see other wedding photographers doing it all the time. We did it actually when we got engaged. That was the first time we ever did that pose. Was we got engaged, we pinky promised, we took a photo with our phone and posted it everywhere.
And it was on our iPhone, your iPhone,
yeah,
right?
my iPhone. And now we see queer couples using that pose all the time because it is a great way to show off two beautiful rings on two people who have a more, unique or descriptive engagement ring.
That's a very, I would say, feminine pose.
Yeah.
It's a soft pose. So if your couple is soft, learn how to make soft poses happen for them.
Poses can go both ways, but specifically, and that's another thing, right? So yes, think about your gendered poses, but also realize that every pose is and can be made genderless. But I'm thinking again, a lot of times couples would photograph something more like this, like a hand holding. And what ends up typically happening is you would get the really unique ring, and then you'd actually get the interior hand of the masculine ring, which was typically just a band, right? And this pose works well when the secondary ring is not as important. But whenever you have the ring that needs to be both shown, that's where you need to get creative. So that's what's really special, I think, also about working with queer couples is you get to practice that creativity. You get to, problem solve. You get to think outside the box. Get to try something new.
It's just assuming roles. And when I get a same-sex couple, I'm like, okay, guys, now we're gonna hold each other. And I've had a few couples come to me but who's holding who? I'm like, I don't care. Just hold each other. It genuinely doesn't matter. Rocks is the paper out if it feels weird, because I don't want you to be like, okay, but who's the man?
And another fun thing is always to just have each couple do each pose. Let's start with one couple leaning and then let's switch it up. The other couple can lean, and naturally, usually there's a way that works best. So again, I think just thinking
about contracts.
Sure, but I mean, we're talking about inclusive photography and affirming photography. Yeah, your contracts need to make sure they have gender inclusive language, just like the beginning. But
dynamics.
What do you mean? So this will be our last
family dynamics.
Not every couple has family members who celebrate them.
Yeah.
And oftentimes at weddings, these family members will still be invited, but they may not be.
They want to honor their family.
But they may not be at the level that we as a queer person expect. So, for example, we shot a wonderful couple up in Oklahoma, and they let us know. They're like, hey, FYI, grandma being here is a huge deal. Grandma did not want to even come to this wedding because we're gay, but grandma's here. Grandma might say something that makes you cringe. Grandma might say something that makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Grandma is a little bit like that. We're really grateful grandma's here, and if grandma hurts you as the vendors, let us know. But if you overhear grandma say something distasteful about us as the couple, you don't need to say anything. And knowing those dynamics going in can be really great, because other times, look, we'll throw hands. If you're being rude to a gay couple on their gay wedding day, we will throw hands. But we honor the couple, you know?
The thing is also, like, I knew grandma was going to be like that. So afterwards, when we had private times with her, I would check in with the couple and feel and see. Because sometimes, you know, on your wedding day, you still don't want grandma to go and do
Just say something.
Yeah. And for me, then, if you know family dynamics are weird or different, be the safe space for them. Be that friend that they need. Be the chosen family. Learn the word chosen family, because chosen family should be celebrated. Learn and honor it and become one, because that is very important in the queer community.
Yeah, it is. And so that's another thing, you know, when you are taking those family photos at the end of the day, know what the relationships are, know who's close to who, know who's maybe you got to watch out for or be aware of. You know, have maybe some funny jokes queued up to kind of break the ice. And I think that's, again, what's so special for us being a gay couple is that we automatically, when we show up, we validate the queer couple that we're photographing. Look at us. We're a queer couple. We love each other. Oh my God. And we're married and we work together and we do all these things together. Sometimes for these families, their gay children is the only gay couple they think they know. So even just seeing another queer vendor at their wedding can normalize it, right? Oh, I guess there are other gays in Texas. I guess there are other gays in Oklahoma, you know?
Yeah.
Really special if you are a queer photographer to get to photograph queer weddings. If you're a straight ally, make sure you know your place and you do your best to honor their love.
Yeah. I want to remind you, you're still human. And if you've listened all the way till the end of this podcast, know that you're going to make mistakes and know that it's okay as long as you apologize and try again. I think if you are arrogant and say, I'm just going to assume they're brides, and if they tell you you're not brides and you don't apologize, you're an issue. That's the issue here. Just know you're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Learn from it. And I promise you, before you know that, this will become second nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun. Capture more gay love.
Thanks so much for listening to us. And I hope, thanks for hanging out. No, I like hanging out more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start it.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And hopefully you've learned something.
Yeah, if something really stuck with you today, please consider sharing it with another photographer, videographer, creative. Make sure you hit follow and consider leaving us a review.
And if you love this chaos, please ensure that you follow us on Instagram at HeyLoveStudio. This is where we share our BTS, our beautiful queer love, and other couples, and we would love to see you there.
Until next time, keep creating,
keep celebrating,
and know that, hey love, we got you.